may be similar. Now, it's very difficult to prevent what we call, I don't want to say illegal, like I said, undocumented. But I think what is really missing is a process and procedure. This is why I keep on mentioning that we want to be integrated as an ASEAN, but in actuality, each ASEAN country has so many its own issues. How can we integrate this and become one? Right? It's like you're trying to merge and marry people with different backgrounds and put it in one cup. So this is not an easy task, definitely. What we have been very much recommending is really involving different stakeholders in the process. And this is what we feel sometimes is missing. So the government has this big idea, ASEAN has to be integrated. They have signed the Master ASEAN Economic Community by 2015. It's all signed by the government. But in actuality, within that process, not many stakeholders are involved. So it becomes a government documentation. So obviously, some of the issues that you mentioned in terms of undocumented goods, that will continue always happening. But if you involve other stakeholders in the process, then you can anticipate some of the issues that may come out from this integration. When we look at ASEAN as one market, it seems huge. It seems the opportunity is big. But the actual implementation is easier said than done. And I think this is what worries to a lot of people, is that 2015 is coming in front of our door, and we can still see there are so many issues that rises. So I wanted to mention that I think it's good to learn from the EU experience. Of course, we cannot compare, it's not apple to apple, but there are some things that we can learn. We have also encouraged some sharing best practices among the private sectors of EU and ASEAN as well. So we really now want private sector to get involved in this whole process, but bringing in also some of the learning that we can get from other experiences such as the EU. On the illegal fishing, I don't know whether there is specific, I think whether it's ASEAN integration happening or not, I think illegal fishing will always be a continuing issue. Again, it's more of creating the best policy in terms of penalty that might be penalti yang bisa dijalankan apabila ini banyak terjadi. Jadi I think when we look at the policy, we need to make sure that the policy is implementable. If it's no point if you have a policy, but at the end, when there are illegal actions happening, there is no punishment for the people who are doing it. So this has always been the problem, that you actually don't stick to the rule. So you have the policy, but you let things happen that people can still do illegal actions. I want to touch on the last question on education. Yes, I think this is why it is really a major issue. How if education in like a country like Indonesia, which is still very weak because of course the government support is minimal, it is creating an increase in unemployment because we also cannot produce not just, so it's not that it's not only that education is important, it is also important that we have the necessary link and match. And I think this is what's missing. Sometimes when we talk about education, what's education? Not just enough sufficient primary, middle school, high school education. If you look at the primary school at the moment, the graduate of primary school, only I think about 60% are absorbed to the next level. So we are still very weak in terms of that. But what is important is actually more on the vocational training, because when we talk about education, how we can also look at the practical education that can bring people into the employment. And I think this is something that government can definitely play a better role. We understand that Indonesia still faces a lot of challenges as far as education is concerned. As you see, the development at the moment, even with the existing that we have, there are still so many challenges. But again, what is important now is that election is coming up, next government is coming up for Indonesia, I'm talking about Indonesia. I think this is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed. If we learn from other countries that government has supported this basic education, how we can really making sure that this is also happening in Indonesia. And what can ASEAN do? Definitely, there can be a cooperation among the ASEAN countries. First of all, we can see from other ASEAN countries how they are actually looking, like for example, Singapore as a basic education. You look at Singapore education, you're amazed, how. So we can learn also from other countries like Malaysia, Singapore. We can learn in terms of what they do in their countries. But what is important is that the government G2G has some sort of cooperation, that they see this is as a prime